If you've been with me for a while, you know I am on a journey, and you are on this journey with me to find those unconscious, unloving parts of us and transmute them, change them into more conscious and loving parts so that we can have a more conscious and loving world. And so we do that through practice. And the types of practices I share with you are acceptance and letting go and detachment and forgiveness and loving yourself. And all of these practices, when you build on them on a daily basis, they change you. And that's why I love doing this channel with you, because you're engaged and you are changing as well as I am. And when I started this nearly a year ago, it was because I needed to change. I needed to look at my unconscious behaviors that were so unloving to me, because the way I show up in the world, how I treat myself, is how others treat me. So those practices of detachment and loving myself and letting go and staying in my lane and acceptance over and over, I have to practice this, much like I have to practice the scales on the piano, much like I have to practice swinging a golf club until I get the ball right. It takes time, and it takes commitment, and it takes dedication. And I started this channel about a year ago, nearly a year ago, because I could see that I needed to change. So I read from my books, and I share a passage. And today I just want to share with you my process, because I want you to know my process is not linear. It is not easy. And I fail more than I do anything like perfectly. And I want you to know this is how it is, because I expect a lot out of myself, and so therefore I expect a lot out of others. So this is what really happens. My father-in-law wakes up this morning, and he's in the nursing facility, and I'm in the chair next to him because he asked me to stay. And I remember, okay, this is my choice. I am choosing to be here. I am choosing this because I want to be with him. I want to be part of his transition. And then I start thinking about my ex-husband, and all I want to do is swear at him, and I catch myself thinking, you little and the pain that he's caused because of what his decisions are. And then I'm like, oh, look at me ruminating. What's my next thought? Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, so how can I change this right in this moment and come back up to awareness, and then find that feeling of anger in my body, find it and locate it, the anxiety, the stress, and then I just relax. I relax that part of my body. I find it, and then I find the sensations, and I experience the sensations. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it vibrating a lot? Is it filled with tension? If it's filled with tension, I relax and I breathe into it, and I'm like, okay, here I come back again. All right, we've got this. That feeling is gone. I'm relaxed. I'm good. Let me come back up to loving awareness. And then something else will happen, and I'll go right down to that thinking again. And if you do that, you are doing the right thing. If this is your practice, that is what I am asking you to do. I am not perfect by any means. I have this goal, this vision of having a more loving world, and I want you to join me in it by changing ourselves. So when I am thinking these really negative thoughts about my ex-husband and his girlfriend and what they're doing, and oh my God, it's not loving to me, because as I've said many times before, when I have a thought that's negative, and that thought, I'm addicted to that thought because I'm ruminating over it. That thought is creating these forms, and the forms are looking for those chemicals in our body. Yes, they're looking for the chemicals in our body of cortisol and adrenaline, and we are just absolutely flooding our body with poison. And I have to remember that. Now, what happens when you keep repeating and practicing these kinds of things, it becomes easier where you don't have to do all of this effort. And because I am in this, really different state right now, I'm in a different environment, and I'm overcoming my environment, I'm more challenged. When I'm looking at my future without my father-in-law in it, it's a little bit more challenging. So I have to work at it just a little bit harder. But when I don't have all the distractions, it's a lot easier for me. Much like you just keep practicing your tennis swing or your pickleball swing. You just keep practicing it where it just becomes a part of you. And that's what I want you to know today in Mornings with Patty, even though it's in the evening because I'm a little busy. And I just want you to know how much I love you. And if you like my content, I would love it if you would subscribe. If you haven't already, share it with somebody to tell them that it's okay if you screw up, and if it's okay if you don't make perfection today, because you probably won't ever anyway. What I have found is the more that I do this work, the more you do this work, the more sensitive you become, the more layers are released, and the more whole you become, because that's really the goal, wholeness. I love you.